year was all the stories based on Moses. And the overall theme is Jesus is the same yesterday, today, and forever. Since it is a time of also learning as well as also a time of fun, we're welcoming Chema to share a few words with us about the theme.
Hello, everybody. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, one true God, amen. Respected Hutchin, beloved parents, and our VBS students. It's a great pleasure to be here once again for VBS. Last year for VBS we talked about heroes. And this year we're talking about a different kind of hero, Moses. As we see in the life of Moses, Moses was abandoned by his mother because of Pharaoh. And so to save Moses, Moses' mother put Moses in a basket down the Nile River, and a princess came to rescue Moses. Throughout his life, Moses was leading. He was a born leader. God trusted Moses to come down with the Ten Commandments. Know that Moses went to Mount Sinai and he had a communication with God. And Moses came down from the mountain with 2 slabs. And these slabs contained the commandments that God wanted his people to have. As we know, we see one of the commandments in the early Old Testament when Jesus Christ, when God commanded Adam and Eve to not eat from the tree of good and knowledge. But because of their fallen nature, they were cast out of the garden. Now we come to Moses and the theme that Jesus Christ is the same yesterday, today, and forever. The same God that led Moses and the Israelites to freedom is the same God that we worship today. It's the same God that had faith in Moses to lead his people out of freedom. It's the same God that we worship today. We look at Moses' life and we see that he had some trials and tribulations. As you see, as a leader, when he was walking in the wilderness with the Israelites, the people started to go against Moses. But through faith and perseverance, Moses was able to lead the people to freedom. My beloved, VBS is a time where kids come together to learn about Christ, to learn about the church, to learn about the sacraments and doctrines of the church. But we see in the slideshow we just saw upstairs, the very last verse on there was taken from Proverbs chapter 22, verse 6. It says, train up a child in a way, and he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. VBS is here for kids to learn about God, to cherish God, to cherish the church. But we should not only wait for this time. We should continuously train our children in the faith. Because as Proverbs say, teach them. If you teach them to go the right way, they will not depart from it. That is what we're supposed to do as parents, as leaders, as youth, we are supposed to train our little kids. It's not only at Sunday school, it's not only at VBS, it's a 365-day, year-long plan. We have to do this every single day. Teach our children about God. Teach our children about the church. This is what VBS is all about. Jesus Christ is the same yesterday, today, and forever. In the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit, one true God. Amen.
Thank you so much. So at this time, we're going to call up our Class 3 class. This was our largest class. It had almost 20 kids, a little less than 20. Those are 18, 19 kids. They had the most number of kids and also probably the most chaos because of that.
One critique. People are doing these skits, so please don't talk. It's very noisy. So please stop all conversations. Please listen to what these kids are doing, because these kids are performing for you. Okay.
So at this time, can we have Class 3?
This skit is based off of the biblical story of Exodus chapter 3 verse 1 to chapter 4 verse 31, God's promise of power to Moses.
Many years after the princess found Moses as a baby floating in a basket, Moses was a grown man. In fact, he was an old man. He lived in the desert for many years as a shepherd caring for sheep. One day, Moses took the sheep near a mountain called Horeb. Suddenly, Moses saw something very strange. A bush was on fire, but it didn't burn up. The flames just kept burning and burning. Moses couldn't believe his eyes. Moses was so surprised. What's going on, he wondered. This is unbelievable. It's amazing. Why doesn't the bush burn up? Suddenly, Moses heard a voice coming from the burning bush.
Moses! Moses!
Moses knew the voice must be God. Moses answered, "Yes, I am right here."
Do not come any closer.
God
Take your
said.
sandals off. You are standing on holy ground.
Moses quickly took his sandals off. Then God said,
I am the God of your father, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, the God of Jacob.
when Moses heard this, he hid his face. He was too in awe of God to look up. God continued.
I've taken a good long look at what the king of Egypt, Pharaoh, has been doing to my people. I've heard their prayers for freedom. I know all about their pain, and now I'm going to help them. Moses, it is time for you to go and bring the Israelites out of Egypt to a beautiful land of wonderful things.
Moses was stunned. He stammered, But why me? What makes you think that I could ever do such an important job?
I'll be with you.
God said.
And when you have brought my people out of Egypt, you will worship me right here at this very mountain.
Moses still wasn't sure about this plan. He didn't think anyone would believe him. Moses asked, "What if I go to the Israelites and say, 'God sent me to you,' and they ask me, 'What is his name?' What am I supposed to say?" God said,
I am who I am. Tell the Israelites, I am sent me to you. Now go, get all the leaders of the Israelites together, and tell them that I've sent you to get them out of Egypt and into the land that I have promised them. Believe me, they will listen to you. Then you and the leaders of Israel are going to go to the Pharaoh and tell him to let the people go. Of course, it won't be that quite easy. Pharaoh won't let you go unless he has to. So I'm going to do what must be done. And after that, the Egyptians will be glad to get rid of all of you.
It all sounded wonderful, but Moses still wasn't sure if he was the right man. He worried and whined. "The people won't believe me. They won't listen to me. They'll say, 'God appeared to him?' Yeah, right." So God said to Moses,
What's that in your hand?
"A staff." God told Moses,
Throw it on the ground.
Moses threw it, and the staff became a snake. Yikes! Moses jumped back as far as he could. God said to Moses,
"Reach out and grab it by the tail."
Instantly he was holding his staff again. When the
Israelites see you do that, they will believe that I appeared to you, and that I am the God of their father.
Then God told Moses,
"Put your hand inside your shirt."
Moses must have wondered if his hand would turn into a snake, but he obeyed and put his hand under his shirt. When he took it out again, his hand was covered with disease and looked like snow. God said,
"Put your hand back under your shirt."
Moses did. This time when he took it out, his hand was healthy again.
If you show them both of these signs, and the people still don't trust and listen to you, take some water from the Nile River and pour it out on dry land. The water will turn into blood.
But Moses wasn't done worrying and whining. But God, please, I don't talk very well. I've never been good with words. I stutter and stammer. God asked Moses,
"And who made the mouth in the first place? It was me, wasn't it? So get going. I will be with you, Moses, and with your mouth. I'll be right there teaching you what to say."
Finally, Moses said what he really felt. "Oh, please, send someone else."
God was not pleased with Moses' fearful attitude. Even after giving Moses all those promises of help and showing Moses his amazing power, Moses still did not believe that he could do the important job. So God said, "Your brother, Aaron."
"Your brother Aaron speaks very well. In fact, he's on his way to meet with you. Speak to him and tell him what to say. I'll be right there with you both, teaching you step by step. Aaron will speak to the people for you. Now take your staff and use it to do the signs that I showed you."
When Aaron arrived, Moses told him that God's message was a powerful miracles that had made Moses able to do. Aaron was excited. He went to Moses to round up all the leaders of Israel. Aaron told Moses everything that God had told Moses, and Moses demonstrated the miracle. And the people trusted and believed. The Israelite people were so glad that God cared about them. Now they realized God knew all about their hard lives of slavery under the Pharaoh. People bowed down and worshiped God, thanking Him for all His power and love. Thank you.
Here we get another round of applause for the reenactment of Moses meeting God. So this time we're going to call up class 4.
Okay, so for the past few days, class 4 has been learning about the story of Moses, from the time of his birth to when he was saving the Israelites from slavery, all the way up to when he presented the 10 Commandments directly from God. But we didn't just have them read the story, we made them read very thoroughly, analyze it, and dissect it very well. So if you ask any one of them what the 10 Commandments are, they will recite it just like that. So I present to you class 4 and their skit on the story of baby Moses.
So our story begins in ancient Egypt near the banks of the Nile River. The Egyptian pharaoh was worried that all the Israelites who made him slaves will one day rise up and take over. So he issued a terrible order to have all the baby boy Israelites killed. But one brave family has kept their infant son hidden for 3 months.
This can't go on much longer. I can't take the stress. Will the baby cry? Will Pharaoh's soldiers hear him? Will they take him away? Something has to be done.
I agree. That's why I'm weaving this basket.
How can a basket keep the baby safe?
A basket can't keep the baby safe, but God can. Look, we can't keep the baby quiet forever. Sooner or later, Pharaoh's men will hear him.
True, true.
But what if they don't find a baby here? What if, instead of trusting our abilities to hide him, we trust God? Here's my plan. I weave this basket and cover it with tar to make it waterproof. Then I put the baby inside the basket and take the basket to the Nile River.
So the basket becomes a boat. Where do you plan for it to go?
We simply must trust God that God has a plan for the baby.
But the river is dangerous. I've seen crocodiles in the river. And you still forgot. What about Pharaoh's men?
I'm sure God will protect our baby.
Okay, I'm sure you're right, but I just wish we would know what's happening to our baby.
So do I.
Oh, I know. Our daughter Miriam can help you take the basket to the river, and then she'll hide and see what happens and come home and tell us.
Yes, then we'll know exactly what happened to him. This will be very difficult. We're going to have to pray and trust God will have a plan for our baby.
Later that day, Miriam hides in the reeds, anxiously waiting to see what will happen to her baby brother. Dear God, please rescue my baby brother from drowning or being Pharaoh's men captured him or being eaten by a crocodile. Amen. Oh no, it's the Pharaoh's daughter.
Ooh, I can't wait for the nice bath in the Nile. The squishy mud and the cool water.
Snapping crocodiles.
Swirling currents.
Flying insects. What was that?
Nothing, Your Highness.
Maybe she wants to see the basket.
Is that a basket floating behind those reeds? Bring it here.
It's just a soggy old basket. Someone wealthy and powerful as you has thousands of those, nicer ones.
Okay, so she's seen the basket. Maybe she doesn't want it.
I said bring it here.
Okay, so she wants the basket. Maybe she will open it. Maybe the baby will cry.
Look, it's a baby and he's crying.
Well, it sure has a good set of lungs on him.
He's a very cute boy. Poor little guy. He must be hungry. How can we feed him?
Your Highness, I could if you wanted.
Speak up, girl. What is it?
Would you want me to find Israelite women to nurse the baby for you?
Yes, go.
Miriam returns later with her mother. This lady says she'll be happy to help you with Dave.
Take this baby and nurse him for me, and I'll pay you.
Yes, Your Highness, I will.
Oh, that was the best plan.
Trusting God is always the best plan, Miriam.
So that concludes all of our classes. We had 4 classes this year. This year we had almost 60 students and 37 helpers. That is almost 100 people. That's almost 1/3 of the general population of the church is coming and helping out with VBS. It is truly a blessing for those that participate as well as those that help. I know the first couple of years that we did it, we were like, oh, this is too much work. We don't want to do this. But then as you do it, you realize you're serving the Lord. You're helping your fellow members of the church, and it's a blessing truly to everybody that participates as well as those that help. There's too many people to name by name. There's 37 people that help, but there's a few that I especially want to just call out. Because the first day of VBS, there was nobody assigned for food, and I just got to get a couple some snacks, and kids are so hungry, and everybody's looking at me, I'm like, what should I do? The next day, all the aunties got together, and they provided a great and awesome meal. Naomi auntie, Susan Chechi, Delcy auntie, Suja auntie, Shibu uncle, Diti Chechi, they did an awesome job the next day. The kids were full to their very most that they could eat. Every year, for VBS, I come and ask Sybil, can you do crafts? And every year she says, no problem. And every year, the tables over there are full of stuff, and the kids come home with boatloads of stuff. Another reminder for the parents, take that stuff home. Don't leave it here. If your kids were in VBS, they have something to take home. Take it home. Otherwise, it's going in the garbage. Take it home. The the t-shirts that you see the kids wearing, as well as the slideshow that you saw earlier this day, those are both prepared by Shane. Once again, are the media skill the kids learn throughout the year help out not only in VBS but throughout their lives. So as you can see today, Shane was able to put those two things together. If your kids came home extra smelly yesterday, you could blame Toby and Ashlyn. They both organize the sports where they're outside running, jumping, moving around. You can blame them. And last but not least, we have to thank all the teachers. When I say teachers, it's not just standing and talking. It's interacting with the kids, teaching them lessons, taking them to the bathroom, making sure they eat. It's not a simple, hey, I'm just going to talk and that's it. But during the actual VBS, they're basically almost like their brother and sister, their parents, almost during that time. And it starts not just at VBS, but during the last couple of weeks, they've been preparing, reading, studying, buying materials, things as needed. So once again, I just wanted to give a thanks to all the people that helped out with VBS. It was just an incredible opportunity and an awesome time for all the kids. So this is kind of like the college enough for any last words.
Thank you, Jesse. What an amazing show from the children. When I stand before you, I am proud of my children here. We have shown small area, show stage, but 37 students, 60 students or 37 children, teachers stand together here. That's showing their living sacrifice for our children. Here we conclude with our 2013 summer vacation. When we start this VBS, it was a one-man show work. That was Jesse. Then we grew up. That time Jesse was single. He married. Then Stacy joined with Jesse, go with our VBS. When they have two kids, they cannot make up everything because of the two kids running around. Still, they're doing the best they can. Now, all our Sunday school teachers help together, holding hands to hands. You can see the improvement of our VBS. No doubt for that. Those who miss VBS, the children, few families miss their children for VBS. Please try to come and participate next year. To be more enthusiasm, more participation, and you can see more wild participation throughout the VBS. That will show of our strength of